Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay, and welcome to the Shiplife. So in breaking news, we have to discuss a topic that is extremely tragic, sad, and heartbreaking. And it's honestly a topic that most people typically aren't comfortable discussing. However, as most of you know, here on this channel, I do not shy away from the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to cruising and just overall travel. So in breaking news, I have learned that a crew member has passed away while working on board a cruise ship. We will go over the details available so far. I do have to be honest with you, it's not a lot, but I do want to take some time out before we begin and give my sincere condolences to the friends, family, and loved ones of the crew member that has passed away. I also want to let all of you know that it was the Travel Scouts here on YouTube that first broke this news last night. So if you guys don't follow them, because I also appreciate the fact that there is another group of people out there, content creators, that don't shy away from everything going on with cruising and don't create this kind of illusion that everything is perfect all the time. Please give them a follow. I will leave a link to their channel in the comment box below. Now, as far as what's going on with this very unfortunate situation, we have learned that a crew member that is working on board the Norwegian Escape has passed away. This crew member was 36 years old, of Indian nationality, and believed to have worked in the bar area on board the ship. The cause of death is unknown, so we don't know if it was COVID or anything of that nature, but I don't think that's the important part. I believe the awareness is important, and I believe the other details that are also available when it comes to this tragic situation is also what we need to talk about here in this video. So this situation does kind of hit home for me due to the fact that as a former crew member, I was working on board the NCL Escape doing a show called After Midnight. While I was on board during my contract, I also witnessed a death on board, and it was something that I haven't been able to unsee. It even haunts me in my nightmares to this day. Now, also on top of this, I did lose my dad about a week ago, well, less than a week ago, Monday earlier this week. So I'm still kind of feeling the effects of everything else. And let's be real, when stuff like this does happen, it does make you think of your own morality, of your own life, and you do worry about other people. Now, I always say on my channel, when it comes to stuff like this, as we saw back in 2020 when the big shutdown happened, you have a lot of crew members that were being isolated in rooms and just kind of losing it all mentally, getting depressed. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened with this particular situation. However, what I do know is that the crew member that unfortunately passed away had literally just completed a 10-day quarantine on board the NCL Escape. The problem with these quarantines that are taking place on board some of these cruise ships, not all, is that they are typically putting them inside, like an inside cabin with no outside air coming in, no windows, no balcony, nothing like that. So you have to understand with that kind of environment, as somebody that has been in that kind of environment, I've been on a ship where we had like somewhat of a lockdown and quarantine situation. It wasn't COVID, but it was a GI outbreak. And the mental pressure that I would feel just being in that room and those four walls, not being able to go anywhere in that tiny little cabin, it definitely takes a toll on your body and your mind. In saying that, right now with most cruise lines, with all the health and safety protocols, with NCL for example doing what they need to do, typically they have like isolated zones, which is usually, especially for the crew members, on the lower decks like deck 1, 2, and 3. That's because they don't want people infecting other people by putting them in other areas. Of course, the air filtration system is also a factor when it comes to this entire situation throughout the pandemic, whether the cruise lines have replaced them or not. Now, once again, I'm not saying NCL is at fault directly for doing this. Every cruise line is doing their own health and safety protocols and isolating their crew members and passengers that test positive differently. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I believe quality of life is very important. It is extremely sad that somebody had to do a 10-day quarantine in a room with four walls, not being able to go outside and not being able to breathe fresh air, just to only pass away a couple days later. Now, throughout this entire process, originally there was a Code Alpha call. If you guys don't know what Code Alpha, that is a medical emergency on board the ship. You have like Code Bravo, which equals like a fire. However, again, just hearing all this, it just kind of brings me back to when I was on board the NCL Escape. Not trying to make this about me in any kind of way. However, I believe the relatability is very important, especially for all you viewers out there that maybe have never worked on board a cruise ship. This is very sad. Knowing that this man had a 10-day quarantine and then completed the quarantine, a day later passes away, I can't imagine what his family is feeling. I can't imagine what his friends are feeling. And you have a lot of people with NCL, the crew members, that are complaining about the conditions on board. Now, I do know that other cruise lines like Virgin allow their crew members members to be in the balcony area of the ship for their quarantine. The thing about NCL on the Escape right now is that that ship is not operational, at least until as of yesterday, the 22nd. But during this 10-day quarantine, this crew member was put inside this inside cabin, which, once again, guys, I know I have to keep repeating this and I sound like a broken record. I'm not blaming NCL. I understand that during these troubling times, the cruise lines have to implement health and safety protocols that they just can't change at the snap of a finger and decide, okay, well, since we're not doing this, by that meaning having paying passengers on board, they have to go ahead and put everybody in the balcony cabin. I understand the health and safety protocols and risks that are associated with all of that. I'm just saying that this situation is extremely sad and unfortunate. And due to the fact that we don't know the cause of death, obviously there's not much more we can say on this topic. However, guys, I do want to start to leave it right here. I do believe, again, awareness is important. All this stuff does need to be talked about. Maybe some more information will start to surface in the coming days. If not, it is what it is. But again, my sincere condolences to all the friends, family, loved ones of this crew member. Hopefully this is not something we continue to see moving forward, be it somebody taking their own life or anything like that, because this is something that we unfortunately did see back in 2020 when we had a bunch of crew members that were stuck on board a cruise ship for months on end without potentially getting paid, without having to really know the knowledge of when they were going home or any other details for that matter. But I'm going to wrap this video up right here, guys. I don't mean to sound negative in this video, but once again, on this channel, I believe reality is important. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you want. If not, it's totally fine. And by the way, this video will not be monetized, just so you guys know. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy.